Hello and welcome back to Bramley Farm, where we build, farm and grow. Today we've got a bit of a fun day, fun task ahead. We're looking to move the sheep from the level fields up there into this big 3.5 acre field. But currently there's nothing set up to divide it into paddocks. I want to try and divide it into 4 paddocks, which I think we need to put a middle post in the middle of the whole field. And then we can come from over there. We can connect from that fence to this middle post, and then to that one, that fence over there. And then the week after, we can move into that quadrant, that quadrant, that quadrant. So let me see if I can set you up here. So what I'm planning to do is, I've got this 100mm diameter post here. I want to put it in the ground. I've already pre-measured 60 metres from that fence and 60 metres from that fence. If I put that in the ground there like that, I can run the electric fence to here and that way, and then here to that way, like the quadrant. It's simple. How hard can it be? But I am cheating. Rather than digging a hole, I'm using this handy dandy homemade auger. If you can see here, so it's 100mm diameter. It was just an old SDS brick drill that I've put welded a disc around the outside like that to make a little auger. And the plan is to make the tool do all the hard work for me. But this is a kind of broken one actually, so we'll see if it's still working. Okay, problem number 1, drill's broke, so an SDS you just pull up and put it back in, but I think where I've been using this and ramming it down before, I may have broken it. It's working, but it's not attached properly, see? So, oh dear. Right, we'll see what we can do. We're not all the way down yet, but I'll just show you what this cool gadget, homemade gadget, is doing. Can you see? It's making a nice cylinder that I can then hit this in and hopefully not make me look like I can't do what I want to do, but we'll keep going. Reminder for the next video, check the tools are working before I decide to film a video. Here we go. Nope. Nothing a bit of brute force and ignorance can't work, as you've seen on previous videos. So the post itself is 1.2. Nope, ignore that. 1.7, 1.65. I want to go down 600mm to there. Got another 100mm, 10 centimetres in old money. It's not old money, still metric. Be quiet, Mike. Alright, I think that's as far as we're going to go. We can do the rest with the hammer. So, if this has worked well, I should measure on the post where 600mm is. 600mm, so we know where to bang it down to. 600 is there. Now let's see how far away we are. And if I've drilled it straight, that'll be a Brucey bonus. Let's see, where's 600mm? Put it there. Right, that's 600mm. And then we need to tamp it down using the other ready-made tap it down function of this sledgehammer. And it's straight if you look at it from an angle, so that's all we need. I'm joking, it's pretty straight. Right, fine. Got to give it the double tap to make sure it's not going anywhere, which it's not. So we now have a middle pole that we can, hopefully all of this works off. So I want to try and keep the fencing as temporary as possible. I could go ahead and put some permanent fencing and put it into 4 different paddocks, but I want the ability to try and move it, and when they're done, take it out and let it all go back to normal. So with one post, I think that's not a bad, what's it called? Not a bad, don't know, not bad. So we have electric tape, and I have these, no, they're not treats. They're plastic with metal on. No, thank you very much. Have these inserts that I've used at the ends of the other fencing. That screws into the post, and I can put the tape, slot the tape inside in here. So this screws into the post. I can come and slot the tape in here, and it insulates it from grounding out. So I think if I do, we're doing them at 30 centimeters, 50 centimeters, and 70 centimeters. So if I put 3 this side and 3 that side, I can run the tape that way to there, and that way. And then when I come up from that direction, if it's on the other side, I can come up that way and that way and that way and that way. Excellent. It needs to go here, 50 and 70. That's that side. And we'll just go equal and opposite that side. No, we won't. We'll still measure. We'll still measure it properly. Of course, this last one is right where a knot wants to be, so I will go just below it. I think that's fine. Right, so that's the middle post done. What we now need to do is walk that way and put 3 at the end, so we can hook the electric fence onto. First, let's do a quick tidy up. I should mention as well, this is going to be a nightmare if I ever want to come in with a tractor, or if we haven't got a tractor, but in the future, or driving about. So I think what I will do is put some high-vis tape around the top so we know where it is, so we can try and avoid it. But yeah, that's the middle post. Over to the end post. Right, so we're now at the edge of the field. So this is where we need to put a few more of these end insulator stops along this post so we can attach the electric fence to. So again, 30 centimeters, 50 centimeters, 70 centimeters. And we'll measure one. Just trying to choose the most sturdy one, really. That one's sturdy, I think. That one's a bit wobbly, so I think we'll stick with this one. And there's no vegetation in the way that should be grounding it out, so I think we're good to go with this one. Is it just me, or can you only do it one way with one hand? Probably cack-handed here, that's why it looks a bit strange. Right, so that's the end piece. Now what we're going to do is going to go take down the electric fencing and see if it works, whether we've got enough posts, whether we've got enough electric tape. It should be. I've got 200 metre tape, and it should be 60 by 60, so we should be okay. Fingers crossed. It's the post, the insulating post I'm a bit worried about, but we'll make do. So we should be doing 7 metres. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a bit. I lied. Looks like we might run out, eh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go take the other one down. So let's go take down the other fence. See you in a bit. So the fun trick of this, taking it off and on again. So I like to move it on a Sunday, so I've got a bit more time. Do the big move on Sundays, move all the fences, and then it's just a midweek paddock change from one half to the other then. And that seems to be, at the moment, working well. The sheep are getting a bit more used to changing as well now. Hopefully we'll see later on they'll be ready to go to pastures. Sorry, they'll be ready to go to fresh pasture. Should be good. So yeah, our paddocks are probably a bit overgrazed for when we bought the house. We're in the winter now, so there's not a lot that's growing. So I'm trying to move them every 3 days. As you see, it's still a bit brown. We've got some dead bits of grass. I'm hoping we'll be overtaken in the summer by all the fresh green stuff. So I'm going to be doing 3 days, 3 to 4 days before move, so they're not further worsening the paddock. But I think it seems to be working. The ones where they were in the first week, so they've been in this one and that one now for a total of a week. And the one that they were in 2 weeks ago, looking like it's getting a bit greener, so hopefully the method is working. This is just a bit of the time-consuming bit. Rolling all these up and keeping them in good order, because as you've seen from the first video I did, if it's not in good order, it's a nightmare. And we go again. So you can buy a 3-in-1 geared roller. So for every turn, it actually turns it 3 times. I didn't get that, so mine's a 1-for-1. Hence many revolutions a minute. So the fact that the sheep aren't rushing to get to the other half suggests to me that they've got enough food at the moment, or they're happy with the level of food, which is good. Which means it's about time we get them off. I want this paddock to be the paddock where the new baby lambs come to. So they'll be down the bottom for 4 weeks, over there for a week. So this should have 5 or 6 weeks rest as we're coming into spring, which I think, well, it's what we got, so it's what we've got to work with. After the first few weeks of them getting used to electric fence, there's 1 or 2 that I know didn't believe it, but I kept watching them getting shocked. And one went up to it twice, bang, had a big jolt, actually looked at me and went again. And that was the last time I think she tested it, so it is working. They are respecting this a lot more than when they first come in, but they're also getting used to being moved, which is good. So that there is the benefit of temporary fencing. See the line that we've done? We've taken them back out and you wouldn't know that anything's been in here. So this is now apparently my pointer, but you get the idea. Hello. So it's actually the next day. We had a bit of a disaster. Remember that reel I was saying might not have been long enough? Turns out it wasn't. We had to leave them in the paddock for another week, another day, and I've gone out and I've got some 20mm, 200 meters, the same as the other 2 rolls. So I'm sure this will now be long enough, but I got the annoying task now of stretching this out, using the wheel thing to wrap it back up and then stretch it back out again. It is what it is, so I'll see you in a bit. So that real fun job is done now, but it's starting to come together and looking like an electric fence, which is good. All the way down over where it's attached to that fence, 3 strands to the corner post which we put in, and then up here. So time to energize it, and then without getting shocked. Right, so we've got the Mega again to make sure that the battery's got battery power and a fence tester. So now this is a lot longer than our last ones. I'll test here to make sure we're getting the 10,000 volts, and I'll go down the furthest end to make sure it's pushing it down there. So we've got the energizer there. We've got to connect the top tape to the middle tape, and the middle tape to the bottom tape. Fine. Earth to earth. I'll just make sure the battery does have power. It was a fresh one I brought out yesterday, but let's just double check. Yeah, 12.8 volts, so happy there. So if it's not working, it's not the battery. Right, the energizer's clicking, which is good. We'll see what we're getting. 10,000, and the new one, 10,000. Beautiful. So I'll unclip it, come the correct side. I don't really want to shock whatever's between my legs. Right, so the sheep are going to be on this side, so everything should be on that side. So I've reconnected it again, so double check. I don't know whether you can see, but it flashes with the pulse up to 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. Right. I say come with me and we can see if we're getting the 10,000 volts down this side. It's all a big learning curve. I was struggling the other week actually. Of course it was in the rain. I had no time to go and do it, but the fence wasn't on. Well, the fence wasn't producing the voltage, and what it was is there wasn't enough tension in the wheel, which meant that it was hanging down and touching the hole that it sits on, so it was grounding out. It took me far too long to realise that, but with each error there's a learning curve and something that I put on my checklist to make sure it's all working. So here, if it's working down here, so we've turned the corner, then I'll be happy that it's working all the way to the edge of the fence. 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. Good. Fence is working. Let's go bring the sheep in. Right. The sheep are shouting at me because I didn't feed them their feed this morning. Just got a general sheep mix. I think it's called cake. People call it cake, people call it units. Just call it sheep food. But yeah, they like their routine. They're normally fed before work. But I've withheld it today because hopefully what I want them to do is follow the bucket like a good organised load of sheep into the next field without anyone rushing off and yeah, making myself look like a silly sausage. So we'll see. They're coming now. I think they are. If I give it a shake and shout, sheep, 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 that seems to be the trigger. So we'll see. Sheep, 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 come on. Come on. Please let this work. No, no, they're ahead of me now. Come on. Sheep, 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 sheep. I think I've got half. The rest are coming, which is good. Please, please get. Oh. Yeah, they're going a bit crazy. Come on. Sheep, 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 sheep. Oh, they want the bucket. Come on. Haven't really opened this gate very well, so that could make it all go wrong, but at the moment it seems to be. I'm a sheep farmer. I don't really know, but hey, get out of the bucket. Come on, through here. They're coming, they're coming, they're coming. Oh, it's working. Right. And you'll notice the sheep troughs that I built in the previous video are just here, working an absolute treat. Leaving them out in all the rain. Ah, get out, the one's in the bucket. Leaving them out in the rain. Let me zoom out. There you are. They have actually all come over. Come on, sheep. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we have it. So they listened to their bellies like all of us, I guess. So that was actually quite pain-free. So I'll just go. Should probably close up the gate now, so they don't rush out, and we'll have a final little look round. Now I will check on them a couple of times a day, whilst I get used to them being in this field, and them get used to being in this field as well. And I do hope, like, there's this hole. Do you think they'll get through? Yeah, that's just made me worry now. Okay, fine, but this is the fence down here. They'll be in here now for a week. It's about 0.8 acres for a week, and then we'll move them down the next quadrant next Sunday. This tree fell over during one of the storms, but I don't think the sheep can get out just yet. That's on a repair, one of the many repair lists. So I think it all looks nice and secure. Like I said, they seem to have been respecting the fence. So this is where we attached it to there, and all 3 wires down. So about 0.8 acres. Fingers crossed. They seem to have come over nicely. I think I left the wheel, cardboard wheel down actually. Don't want to be leaving the rubbish around. The little sheepies to start eating. No. There it is. There it is. So yeah, next week they'll be in this bottom corner. So I'll extend the fence down there. Week after that corner, back up there, and then back up to the main few paddocks, hopefully in time for lambing. So with this poetic image of me with some rubbish and some sheep coming over the hill, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.